Just a couple of years ago, the message was crystal clear: the future is tech. Learn to code, they screamed from every TED Talk and LinkedIn post. Parents were chucking their kids into coding bootcamps before they could even spell Python. The knowledge-based economy was here, and if you weren't a programmer, you were basically a fossil. Fast forward to today, and that entire narrative has been turned on its head. Now the headlines are screaming that coders are going out of a job, that AI is coming for every knowledge worker, and that the safest career path is to become a plumber or an electrician. Welcome back to Future Proof. The world is spinning, and it's leaving a lot of people feeling dizzy and anxious about their future. But what if I told you that in this chaotic new age of AI, the most future-proof skill isn't learning to code, but learning to be human? What if that useless arts degree is about to become the most valuable asset you can have? Stick around, because we're about to unpack the data that shows why the creatives are about to inherit the earth, and how you can position yourself to thrive in a world where robots do the thinking. Let's not beat around the bush. The AI shakeout is real, and it's happening faster than anyone predicted. A Goldman Sachs report estimates that AI could replace the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs, with up to 2/3 of all jobs in Europe, and the US exposed to some level of automation. And it's the so-called knowledge workers who are in the direct line of fire. A recent report from Stanford highlighted that since the widespread adoption of generative AI, early career workers in the most AI-exposed jobs, like software developers, have seen a 13% relative decline in employment. The irony is almost painful. A generation was told to upskill and get a degree to avoid being replaced by factory robots, only to find that AI, the pinnacle of knowledge work, is now coming for their knowledge jobs. This has created a massive crisis of confidence. But in every crisis, there's an opportunity. As AI handles the repetitive, data-driven tasks, it creates a massive premium on the skills that it can't replicate. AI lacks empathy, creativity, leadership, and complex emotional intelligence. And that brings us to the jobs that are proving to be remarkably future-proof. The data shows that roles in healthcare, education, and personal services have some of the lowest risks of automation. What do they all have in common? They are built on a foundation of human connection, and that is precisely why the arts are making a spectacular comeback. For years, the arts and humanities have been the punching bag of higher education. Seen as impractical and low-earning, enrollments plummeted after the 2008 financial crisis as students flocked to career-oriented fields like engineering and medicine. But the tide is turning. In the wake of the pandemic and the AI boom, we're seeing a surprising resurgence. At UC Berkeley, the number of first-year students declaring arts and humanities majors has increased by 121% in the last year alone. Globally, demand for Bachelor of Arts degrees at institutions like Sydney University has jumped by 28% since 2020. But here's the most telling statistic. Within the humanities, it's the visual and performing arts that are becoming the dominant field. They have now officially supplanted traditional subjects like English and literature as the most popular degrees in the humanities and liberal arts. Why the sudden change of heart? Because in a world saturated with AI-generated slop, we are craving authenticity, originality, and human expression more than ever. An AI can write a technically perfect pop song, but it can't write a song that makes you feel seen. An AI can generate a beautiful image, but it can't create a piece of art that challenges your perception of the world. And it certainly can't replicate the electric, shared human experience of a live performance. These are not just soft skills. They are becoming the most valuable and irreplaceable assets in the new economy. The creative industries are a massive economic engine. In the UK, they are projected to generate up to 900,000 new jobs by 2030. In the US, design jobs have grown at twice the rate of the rest of the economy since 2012. So, what does a future-proof creative career actually look like? It's not about being a starving artist, it's about leveraging uniquely human skills in high-demand fields. Let's start with the live experience economy. While AI can generate digital content, it cannot replicate the magic of a live, in-person event. This is creating strong demand for choreographers, with job growth projected at nearly 30% by 2032. The same goes for art, drama, and music teachers, with growth projected at almost 9%. Even for actors and musicians, where overall growth is slower, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics still projects around 26,000 openings each year on average, simply to replace those leaving the field. there is an enduring demand for non-screened, real-world entertainment. Then there are the therapeutic arts. Fields like art and music therapy are booming, with a projected job growth of over 11%. These are clinical professions that use creativity to help people, requiring a master's degree and hundreds of hours of supervised practice. This is a field built on empathy and human connection, something AI simply cannot automate. And finally, we have the AI-augmented creatives. These are the new hybrid roles that sit at the intersection of art and technology. First, immersive experience designers. These are the architects of the metaverse, Arkansas, and VR worlds. They combine storytelling, art, and technology to create the digital spaces where we will work, play, and socialize. This isn't a niche gig. The average salary for a VR designer in the US is already around $123,000 a year. Next, creative strategists and AI art directors. As AI becomes a standard tool, companies need human creatives who can guide it. These professionals don't just generate images, they understand branding, psychology, and culture to direct AI in creating compelling campaigns. Senior roles in this field are already commanding salaries of $140,000 to $170,000. The common thread here is that these are not jobs that can be automated. They sit at the intersection of creativity, empathy, and strategic thinking, the very skills that an arts degree is designed to cultivate. This brings us to a big question about our own experiences. We've all been told to follow a certain path. Go to uni, get a safe degree. What's the single best or worst piece of career advice you've ever received? Let us know in the comments. We're keen to hear your stories. The great irony of the AI revolution is that it's forcing us to rediscover what makes us human. For the last few decades, we've been training people to think like machines, to be efficient, logical, and data-driven. Now that the machines are here, they're better at that game than we are. The future doesn't belong to the coders, it belongs to the creative directors. It doesn't belong to the data analysts, it belongs to the storytellers, the musicians, and the performers. The most valuable and the most secure careers of the next decade will be those that require creativity, empathy, and a deep understanding of the human experience. So, if you're an artist, a writer, a musician, a performer, this is your moment. The world is finally catching up to what you've always known, that in an age of artificial intelligence, the most powerful thing you can be is authentically, unapologetically human. If you found this analysis valuable, please hit the like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and share this video with someone who needs to see it. Your support is what allows us to keep making this content. And if you want to go deeper, consider joining our community on Patreon. Our patrons get early access to videos, their names in the credits, and exclusive PDF notes with supplementary data and insights for every topic we cover. The link is in the description. Thanks for watching.